Hello, we're looking at Couchbase Server 4.5 and a new feature that is in developer preview called full text search. A full text search gives us a search engine for documents in a Couchbase bucket. It's language aware and it ranks results with a relevant score. So let's start and check this out. Looking at Couchbase console, go to the server nodes tab. I just have a single node cluster set up here, and it indeed has the full text service enabled. I'll go over to data buckets. You can see that I have the travel sample bucket loaded. It's got 31,000 plus documents in it. Now in that sample data, there are documents of type landmark. I can query a few of them with nickel like this. I'm just going to do limit of 10 and I hit execute. And I can see the landmarks have a content field that would be nice to be able to search for with language awareness and relevance. Let's say I wanted to search for bed and breakfast. So let's go over to the Indexes tab, and I'll click on the full text subnav there, and I'm going to add a new index, and I'll call it Landmark Context Index, and I'll choose the bucket, which is Travel Sample. Now I'm going to expand type mappings. I want to search just for landmarks, so I'll click Add Type Mapping, and I will enter landmark as the type name. So this would make any landmark document available for full text search. Now I want to restrict this further to just look in the content field. So I'll check only index specify fields, and then I'll hit OK. Now I have to specify the fields, so I'll click the plus here and say insert child field. I'll enter the field name, which was content. Leave everything else as is except for store here. I'm going to check store. You'll see why in a bit. And then I hit OK. And finally, there's this default mapping here. This is here to make sure every field in the bucket is searchable by default, which makes for a nice demo, but we're kind of moving beyond that. So I'm going to edit that and uncheck the enabled and hit OK. Alright, then I'll click Create Index. I can now watch the index being created and click Refresh to see how far it's gotten. Since we're just indexing one field on one type of document, it shouldn't take too long. Click this a few times and should index the whole bucket here shortly. Alright, we're at 100%. Now let's put the index to use. To demonstrate, I'm going to have to leave the console. I'll just click the full text again and select the new index in this drop down here, Landmark Content Index. And let's enter a search term like bed and breakfast and search. A Couchbase console is going to give me a paged list of documents, so I think it's 10 at a time by default. And I can click the link to see a whole document. So if I click this one over to a new tab, it'll bring up landmark 40583. This is landmark 40583, and you can see that the content indeed has bed and breakfast in it. So that's very nice. Also notice that I'm seeing a highlighted fragment of the content field based on my search terms. Remember when I checked that store icon? If I didn't do that, then I would only see the document IDs, not those fragments. Any of the Couchbase SDKs that support this, I know at least .NET does, you just supply the name of the index, the search query, and you'll get back results and highlighted fragments. Remember that this feature is currently the developer preview and is not yet officially supported by Couchbase. In fact, if you want to contribute to the RFC, you can have a say in how this feature is ultimately implemented. I'll put a link in the video description. Thanks for watching.